What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again. After the All-Star break, I took an All-Star break as well. I apologize for that. I didn't plan on it, and then I realized I'm just going to focus on school right now for this week, and then we'll get right back into it once I was going to do the BFR first, but I decided to start it off with a bang because this is the video I wanted to do for a while now. I'm going to title this video "The Problem with the NHL," and I've got a board up here. I got some bullet points, and we're going to go through everything. So before anyone comments, I don't know what I'm talking about, which is not going to happen, I doubt it. I just want to go through this, and I want to explain the biggest problem that I think with the NHL. The NHL has some problems. Let's be honest here. There's been problems recently with assault of the not just normal assault kind. Of course, with the 2018 World Canada situation. There's been the international play issue, which has been 2026 and 2030 Olympics have now been confirmed for the NHL. Of course, they were supposed to be at the 2022 Olympics. We'll see if they fulfill that. I think they will this time. And of course, the 2025, there's going to be a World Cup of Hockey. Personally, I know this is going to come off strange. I do not care for international events. Olympics, World Cup of Hockey, overall, just I never really cared about winning a gold medal. I'd watch the World Juniors because I watched for the prospects, but I honestly could care less about the Olympics. I've never been a fan. I could care less about it. I care about the NHL. Olympic hockey, never. Yeah, you got all the superstars together. You know who the best are. There's really no contest. Any of the top 5 teams can win on any given night. Whether that's Canada, USA, Finland, Sweden, Russia, there's no competition. It's the top 5. Anyway, aside from that rant of international play, which I'm sorry, I've just never been a fan of international play. I never liked it, never cared for it. But the real biggest problem, I think, with the NHL is the fans. Old and new fans. As by right here, I managed to spell old wrong because I was kind of rushing when I wrote that. This has been a board in the making. I've been adding to this and taking away stuff for weeks now. I've had this board ready. Fans are the biggest issue in the NHL because there is no unity amongst them. In the NBA, you have the Jordan versus LeBron debate, and while it's not a unifying source of thing, it keeps people talking about the game. There's nothing like that in the NHL. You know who the best player is of all time? It's Gretzky. If anything, Lemieux is second, but everyone knows Gretzky. If Lemieux hadn't been injured, maybe we'd be talking about that. Of course, then you have who's the greatest right now? Oh, it's Connor McDavid. Greatest upcoming star, Connor Bedard. There's no really thing like that. Of course, there's Wembanyama in the NBA who's upcoming. I'm not a big NBA watcher, so I don't know all of that stuff. But you know who the guys are, and you know who, and it's just. Yeah, I'm not going to get into NBA. But I wrote some problems down here with some other major sports. We're going to go through those before we get into the NHL stuff. MLB's biggest problem, the salary cap. And that's a big problem. The Dodgers and the Yankees and the big market teams run away with this. Specifically Dodgers and Yankees. You sign 2 players for over $1 billion in the Dodgers, more than anyone else spent all offseason. Crazy, should not happen. Big issues. If the Dodgers manage to lose the World Series again, I don't know what to say. They deserve to lose because you should not be able to spend that much amount of money when some teams are not even worth some of that money. Yes. NFL, honestly, the NFL doesn't have too many problems. The biggest problem I could think of was the turf. Players are getting injured a lot more now than they used to back in the day, and what's on the ground is kind of the cause of it, so that's honestly the biggest problem with the NFL. It's not an organizational issue, it's not a fandom issue, it's actually a just ground issue. NBA, the biggest problem I thought of was ego. NBA players, I think, are some of the most cocky you-know-whats on the planet, and it's another reason I don't like the NBA. They're cocky, they think they can do whatever they want, and the best players truly believe it's all about them and nothing else. There's no team there is no team in basketball. It's a couple guys. And the closest representative I could think of this in the NHL would be Pierre-Luc Dubois, which we'll get into because I don't like Dubois for this exact same reason. And the NBA, ego is just a huge problem. It's a huge reason I don't watch the NBA, along with it just being boring. I personally think the NBA is one of the most I personally think basketball is boring, but like I'd rather watch NBA over college basketball because I don't like college sports either. I'm gonna piss a lot of people off today by just posting this video. MLS, Major League Soccer. Soccer has never been big in the States. Of course, it's growing somehow. I played soccer for 12 years growing up. I still thought it was boring. I loved playing it, don't get me wrong, but I knew this is not a top 5 sport, or this is not one of the big 4 sports. And it's not one of the big 4 yet, but it's slowly getting closer to hockey, which is strictly alarming because hockey is a great game. Soccer is a simple game. And which we'll get into another thing. I should write another bullet point there, but actually it's going to be a different. I'll discuss it in a minute. And then the UFC, I never understood why people beat the hell out of each other. I never really got to understand why boxing exists, wrestling, beating the hell out of each other. Like, it makes no sense to me. It really doesn't. I don't know how people can just sit there and watch 2 people fight. I don't know. But getting into the NHL. So you see these problems listed for this. It's salary cap for MLB, turf for NFL, NBA is ego, MLS is boring, UFC, why does that exist? Enough said. NHL fans, nothing like any of these other ones. Everything is let's go through this. This is a personal statement. Soccer, unfortunately, it's a personal statement because for some reason the world loves soccer for whatever reason. NBA, that's not a personal. That's strictly just how the league runs. NFL, that's a league issue. MLB, another league issue. This is a fandom issue. We don't see this in other sports. Of course, hockey is going to be behind the 8 ball because it's expensive. Personally, that wasn't attractive to me. Not everyone could play it. You had to be in a certain sort of circumstance to be able to play hockey. Not everyone can do it. Anyone can go outside and go to a basketball court. Anyone could go to a soccer field. NFL is a bit of a different story, but you could play football without padding. It's just, I wouldn't recommend it. Baseball, you need literally a stick and a ball. And UFC, you honestly could go hand in hand. Hockey, you needed a lot more equipment. You needed skates. You need a stick. You need a lot of stuff that is not genuinely accessible, which attracts me to it even more so. The fact that not everyone can afford it, not everyone can do it, makes it intriguing to me because it's special. That makes it very special. Which also makes me think it's the most elegant game, despite what goes on the ice. But the fandom is another issue. Now, not the expensive rants aside. This is just a rant this is essentially kind of a rant video. But the problems with the NHL with the fans, and I listed a bunch of bullet points here that I think are the important ones here. Bettman sucks to start with. I don't understand the hate that Gary Bettman gets. The people say, well, we have expansion on the board a bunch too. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to be going ham on expansion. But Bettman sucks, Chance. He gets booted every draft, that's normal. The fact of this gets nonstop Bettman ruined the league, Bettman screwed this up, 93, Bettman, when he came in, he ruined the league. Bettman has done nothing but great for the league. Personally, about the Olympics, taking them out, I could care less about that. Maybe the players obviously don't like it, but I could care less. So, honestly, good on Bettman for getting them out of the Olympics because it saves me some time. Good on Bettman for bringing in new teams, bringing in new fans. Talk about Canadian teams. Expansion is expansion, and I don't see why people don't like expansion. The more the merrier is the one I've always say. Retract the team in terms of the Coyotes. I can't understand why people don't want the Coyotes to work. I'm with Bettman on this one, hard line. Why wouldn't you want a team to work? Why would you want to lose a team? Why would you want to move a team instead of expanding? We have a bunch of teams now that want to expand. You got Utah wants a team. Houston wants a team. Atlanta wants a team. Omaha wants a team. Omaha is not getting a team. Quebec wants a team. Portland wants a team. Kansas City. All these cities want teams, and people don't want to give them to them. Instead, people would rather just move the Coyotes to Quebec, even though that makes no sense divisional-wise, which is another thing, illogical relocations. I don't get why people want to move the Coyotes to Quebec when that would make no sense whatsoever. Anti-expansion, we kind of just went over that. I don't get why people don't want to expand. If someone could tell me down below in the comments, yeah, 32 is a perfect 8, 8, 8, and 8, why not keep going? Why not make this the biggest league? I don't understand why I can't comprehend sometimes what like people are thinking. I'll go scroll through Instagram and say 32 is perfect, never expand. We need to retract teams, not expand. It pisses me off, to be honest. Yeah, you're getting a kind of an unfiltered me this episode of me. Outdoor games, people complaining it's the same teams every year. Don't get me wrong, seeing Chicago in another outdoor game, which we'll be talking about in the BFR later, it kind of makes me sad because they're probably going to lose knowing they're 1-5. I don't want them in the outdoor games because they're not good in them. But of course it's going to be the same teams in the Winter Classic. This year was an X factor. Yeah, Vegas and Seattle, that's not normal. But look at the other years. It's Pittsburgh, Boston, Chicago, St. Louis. Of course, the Canadian teams, not so much. Detroit's been in it a bunch. Philadelphia. Teams that are original, classic teams. Of course, they're going to be in the Winter Classic. It's classic. They have Stadium Series games for, like, they had Nashville, Tampa one year. They had Carolina, Washington another year. You got the Californias that get into it. Even Dallas was in a Winter Classic. Like, I don't understand what's the problem with that as well. The people complaining about that. Because people complained about Vegas, Seattle this year, and yet now they're complaining that it's Chicago, St. Louis next year. It's one or the other. You can't have both at the same time. Like, I'm not sure what you all want from the league. The league is being put in an unfair position. Why? Because of the fans. Fans are the issue here, if you're seeing a common theme. Vegas hate. Vegas wins a cup in 6 years. They're good out of the gate. I'm wearing a Vegas shirt, I know. But Vegas is my second favorite team, don't get me wrong. But Chicago will forever be number one. I don't understand the hate that Vegas gets for just being good out of the gate. No one thought that expansion team was going to be good, but yet the expansion draft's rigged. William Karlsson, everyone knew he was going to score 43 goals that first year. Bro didn't even score 10 in a year previous. You can't make this stuff up that people just come up with now. Blackhawk situations, I've heard enough of. It's time to move on. Of course, don't move on when it comes to speaking up, speaking out, because that's going to be taken out of context. The Blackhawk situations are over. They're being, they get the first overall pick. It's not rigged, guys. If it was rigged, it would have come out many years ago that it was rigged. And if they win it this year, they have the highest odds. But even if they don't get it, they're still getting a top pick. It doesn't matter to me if they win it or not, really, because they already have Bedard. Do they really need Celebrini as well down the middle? Would it be nice? Sure. Would I be fine with Yzerman or the Russian defenseman guy? I forgot what his name is. But enough said there. Politics and vaccines. I do not like getting political on this channel. I try not to get political on this channel, and I don't think I've ever gotten political on this channel. When I see comment sections that are just full of, let's say an athlete dies, like Chichmanek. Roman Chichmanek passed away a few months ago. The amount of just crazy stuff I saw on there was insane. I don't know where people get this I'm an idiot in their head, but it's mind-blowing. Toronto, everything plus All-Star Game. This is honestly the lowest part. People saying the All-Star Game is boring, it's whatever. It's just for fun, guys. I'm not sure what your issue is. It's not supposed to be anything competitive. It's just for fun. For the players get to have a good time, they get to have a good weekend, good break. And being in Toronto, it was cool. It's the first time it's been in Toronto since 2000. But the Toronto media, of course, that's more towards Toronto. Toronto media gets way too hard on their own guys, and they don't cover enough of the rest of the league. Media will avoid teams like the Coyotes when they're actually having something good. When Clayton Keller, Nick Schmaltz, these guys up and coming that are playing really well, but then they'll say, oh, look at this team, it's dying in the desert, they're awful, even when they're really not that bad or are that far out of a playoff spot. It's not fair to other teams. It's not fair to the rest of the league. But the big market teams will always have that advantage, and as in a big market, I don't think it's fair. So, as you can see here, just kind of a bit of a rant video that I wanted to go through. Just want to talk about some things, because it's been really just frustrating me. The more and more days that go by, I get more and more pissed off at this sport, and it's because of the fans. It has nothing to do with the sport. The sport is excellent. The players are excellent. The most management is excellent. And I think Gary Bettman is fine. I've never had an issue with Gary Bettman, and I've been watching this league now for 15 years. The fact that I can say that is crazy. Of course, I didn't understand all the economics of it back then, but profits grow every year. ESPN and TNT deals have been fine, in my opinion. TNT has been even more excellent than ever. ESPN's been fine, of course. I've never had that big of an issue with the broadcasting, but people will always find a way to complain. And in hockey, it's the worst. I fully accept that in hockey, it's the worst. And it's not officiating is not even the worst it is in the NHL. Officiating could be arguably worse in all three of these MLB, NFL, and NBA. Because I don't think it's as bad as some of them, what I've seen recently. But yeah, that's really going to be all I have for you guys today. Just a little rant. Try to spice it up a little on the channel. BFR should be coming either today or tomorrow. We'll see. I mean, packed with school, so just trying to get this video out. Because I've been having it in the making for a while, and there's another video I want to do on expansion, so that's going to be coming soon. And although people don't want to hear expansion, I would love to hear it because I love expansion. Keep growing the game. It's honestly, I'm fine with bringing a team to Quebec. I'm not anti-Canada, don't get me wrong, but bring a team to Quebec. Bring a team to, I'm not sure where else in Canada you put a team. Halifax, Saskatoon, really? I'm not sure, but Omaha's not getting a team. Omaha can have a minor league team. Everywhere else that's asked for a team, Portland, Kansas City, Cincinnati, that'd be a Columbus-Cincinnati rivalry. That could be cool. Of course, Cleveland's a bit close, but then again, if all three of those had a team, that'd be crazy. But yeah, that's going to be all I have for you guys. I'm going to stop it there before I get too off topic. Let me know below what your thoughts are on the biggest problems in hockey, and let me know what you think on my takes, because I'd really like to see some reactions and what people really think of like my opinions here, because I think there is just too much crap going on and I'm sick of it, and it's not going to get any better anytime soon with social media just continuing to increase. But yeah, that's going to be all I have for you guys in this one. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Have a good day, everyone. Have a good night.